Thank you guys for joining, and thank you for those who joined us yesterday. So without further ado, tomorrow is Sunday. I know a lot of us will be going to church tomorrow. So we try as much as we can to keep today's session within 1 hour. So by 21, so by 9 o'clock, we should be rounding up. So we are going to be very fast today. Well, we have done bulk of the work. Like I told you yesterday, the work we do here is to introduce you to growth concept and to put you on the path for growth. And we cannot help you to grow. We cannot. So that's what we are doing in this place. And we started yesterday by looking at the mindset that you need to have to be able to grow. And it's also the same mindset you need to have to be able to make the best of these 90 days that you're going to spend with us. For the next 90 days, many of us, the board of directors, Mr. Israel, Juliet, myself, and the volunteers core team leaders will be suspending almost all their tasks to make sure that you are set on the path for growth. It is not easy, it is not cheap, but it's something that we are committed to, and that's what we are doing. So the best thing you can do for us, I can't say it enough. The best thing you can do to put us back is to please try as much as you can to make the most of this, so that our times that we have invested into this, the resources that have gone into this project will not just be a waste. So please, I'm begging you that you should try to, by yourself, make the most of everything. And making the most of it mean that you need to do every activities that we send to this place. And that's why we don't treat it lightly if you treat our activities lightly. So every activities you have been asked, please follow it up. I know you guys are busy, but trust me, you're not as busy as we are. You're not as busy as we are. I don't want to go into details, but for us to be able to have left everything to do this for you, 90 days, that's just all we need from you. We're not going to be with you forever. So if it means canceling some appointments, canceling some schedules to get the most of this, please, I promise you it's going to be worth it. So yesterday we started discussing about two fundamental paradigms that makes the difference, that you know that set high achievers from mediocres, that differentiates innovators from consumers, that differentiate trailblazers from those who just follow the public and then get lost or get mixed up in the public. And we said that the first one is the fixed paradigm, and the second one is the growth paradigm. We said that the fixed paradigm are the no one here wears shoes paradigm. You remember that story yesterday, right? Why the growth paradigm is everyone here needs one paradigm. So we looked at different ways. Today, we continue the discussion, and essentially we are going to consider the major topic. How do you experience a shift in your paradigm? Sorry. How are you going to experience paradigm shift? So that's what we are going to do today. Please, a minute. Let me quickly share my screen. So can you guys see my screen now? Sorry, can everyone see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Any
sir.
response? Okay, great. So okay, sorry. So yesterday we asked a question. We asked a very fundamental question, that how can we experience paradigm shift? And I think one of you also asked that same question, and I promise that's what we're going to be treating today. So I love to use a case study method of of studying, because it helps you to be engaged in the studies. And when you're engaged in the study, you're more likely to retain and to practice and to act and to understand the concept more than when everything is thrown at you. So that was the reason I sent us a question yesterday night, and I saw some discussions in some groups, and that's good. A lot of us went and did work and answered the questions perfectly. There's no wrong or right answer. That's one good thing about case study. It's just ability to make your case and to prove your points. So you guys were able to discuss in your group. So, and that's going to form the basis or the foundation for today's discussion. So let's also discuss. So what are some of the actions? What are some of the specific actions that Sarah took to be able to move from the fixed paradigm to a growth paradigm, as we saw yesterday in our studies? So we'll have one or two persons. If you're interested to tell us, I will have you raise your hands, and then you will share with us. You are permitted to look at your notes. You are permitted to look at your made note from it, which I expect us to do. But I want us to just say, you can type as I'm saying now. You can begin to type so it's coming. But if you want to be the one to speak, why not? If you feel you have a growth mindset that you want to participate. So if you want to be the one to speak, please unmute yourself or raise your hand. Unfortunately, I can't see your hands raised. So is that Feromi that is anchoring today? Feromi, is that you? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Right? Okay. So please, I want you to be able to coordinate this. You can call anyone who has raised their hands and let us know if they want to speak. So the floor is open. Anyone want to share with us? Okay, so we'll be forced to call names. Feromi, please, can you call names? Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Okay. So please, Ellen. Ellen, are you there? Ellen, are you there? Oh, okay. Okay. Since you don't have her, then we'll go for somebody else. Okay, Jacob, please, are you there? Okay, Jacob, please, can you unmute? Okay, good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
So while the session was going on, I had a call, so I just get back to the place now. So the last thing I heard was that can you call him? So I don't know. So what was discussed?
Okay.
Okay, is it
Mention any
concerning?
of the
Okay,
steps that Sarah. Hello?
okay. One of the steps. Okay, I can hear you. I can hear you, ma. Okay, can you hear me? So one of the steps
Yes, we
she
can.
took, and our first step was about self-reflection. Now she had to think about who she is. She thought about her liabilities, negative mindset, and it was through her personal self-reflection that she was able to proceed to the next stage. So, and the first step was self-reflection. So that's what helped her. That was first step she took in changing the situation of how things were as regards field of career.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Okay.
Any more person want to talk?
We need one more person before we move to the next question.
Good evening, Moses.
Yeah. One of the steps she took that helped her move from fixed mindset or fixed paradigm to growth paradigm was After discovering herself or reflecting on herself, seeing the limitation, she didn't stop there. That is, she was now among the group of people who just wish things to happen. She took a step further. She was open to learning, relearning, and unlearning many things so as to see the desired growth she expected. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Yakubu.
Thank
Proceed for that. Okay, now the second, Femi, I'll get back to you now. I'll give it back to you. But now the second question we want to do, let me quickly read what is here. Okay, Moses have let us know that she was open to learn, to relearn, and to learn many things. Lillian said that she did a self-reflection. She looked into herself to find out her fears and her weaknesses. That is great. Charles said having a journal, that is okay. His point is that Sarah had a journal. With a journal, Sarah defined her goals, was able to tap into her creativity, understood her strengths and weaknesses, which led her to high self-esteem and was able to measure her progress, which motivated her to stay on track. That's brilliant. Is it having mentors and peers with a mentor? The second thing is having mentors and peers. So with mentors, Sarah could seek guidance and support, and was able to network with other professionals. With her own peer group, she could also experience a lot of stuff. Thank you. Then talking about getting constructive feedback and talking about setting realistic expectations for ourselves. I mean, it's exhaustive. Thank you, Charles, for that exposition, and thank you everyone that spoke. That is Moses and who was the first person? Jacob. Okay, thank you, Jacob. Okay. Now, having seen what Sarah did, that's essentially steps that you need to take to be able to move from limiting mindset or limiting paradigm or fixed paradigm to a growth paradigm. I summarized that into the workbook that I'll be sharing with you after today's section. So please take time to go through the section again and be able to understand. But the first thing I want to emphasize is the fact that Sarah had to come to a point that he had to come to a point to sit down and do like what they call a critical self-appraisal, what other people call self reflection. Please, if you're not speaking, can you be muted? Thank you so much. So Sarah was able to do self-reflection. Now, self-reflection isn't just something you do when you want to shift from a fixed paradigm to a growth paradigm. Self-reflection is something that every great achiever does. What does self-reflection do for you? Number one, it helps you to understand where you are at the moment. You know, a lot of us go through life, a lot of us do stuff through life without waiting at a point to ask questions. What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? What are my strengths that I need to improve on? What are my strengths that I need to capitalize on? What are my weaknesses that I need to improve on? So every day of your life, you can. I do that a lot with some of my friends and some of my accountability partners. We come together at the beginning of the year, at the midpoint of the year, at the quarters, and even do it personally. Sometimes I go for personal retreat. And if you ask people who have been able to achieve great things and become trailblazers, to blaze the trail in their respective field and professions, there are men or women who had taken time to do what I call the self-reflection or self-appraisal. So you need to, at some point in your life, sit down. For the past 5 years, what have I done with my life? How am I spending my time? Where is my time going to? Where is my resource going to? Where is my energy going to? What is the outcome of the time and the resource and the energy and the skills I'm spending? Now, if you do self-reflection, you are bound to keep on repeating the same mistakes. You know, when you do it once, it's a mistake. When you do it second time, it's a mistake. But if you repeat more than 2 times, it becomes an error. There's a difference between error and a mistake, right? So if you are the one who sit down to do a deep self-reflection, you hardly commit errors. You are free to make mistakes. But if you reflect from time to time, you will be able to identify what is going wrong and what is going right. So if time permits, the course of this training, one of the things that I will make sure that you understand or you learn how to do is to take your time to do self-reflection. Ask yourself some hard, difficult questions. You know, self-reflection will help you to let go of some things. Self-reflection will help you to do this differently. Self-reflection will help you to even take a different path entirely. There are some of us that when you're not even supposed to be where you are going, you're not supposed to be on the path. The path you're going is not going to take you anywhere. Somebody will say that speed is not necessary. Speed is useless when direction is wrong. So, but if you don't do a self-reflection, you will continue to run fast in a wrong direction. And it doesn't matter how fast you run. Once you're in the wrong direction, you can never get to your destination, right? So you need to take time to settle down and do self-reflection. Number one, it can help you in moving from fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Number two, it can also help you to avoid some avoidable mistakes in life. So it's important both in your paradigm shift or in your general life. The second thing I also want us to take note of is the fact that after she has been able to understand her self-limiting beliefs, there are what I call self-limiting beliefs, where you are going to also see them in the workbook that I will share with you at the end of this class. No, she had some self-limiting beliefs. Our self-limiting beliefs may be different. For instance, like somebody was asking yesterday whether if it is possible for someone to have fixed paradigm in one area and growth paradigm in another. Yes, it's practically possible. There are some people, they are very good when it comes to spiritual growth. They can pray, they can study their Bible, they can enjoy long time with God. But when it comes to their personal development and professional growth, they are nowhere to be found. They are mediocre, right? So in that case, they may not necessarily be persons that have fixed mindset in their entire life, but in one aspect of their life, they have fixed mindset, right? But if you have learned how to, if you are learned how to do what I call journaling, if you are learned how to sit down and write down what I call and write down what your strengths and weaknesses are, you will be able to do what? To identify which area of your life needs improvement, which area of your life, or be able to identify what are your self-limiting, that's the point, self-limiting beliefs. So when you have a self-limiting beliefs as regards to finance, you could be very good academically. If I can even get to the top of your academic career, become a professor, but financially you remain very poor. Why? Because you have a self-limiting belief as far as finance is concerned. Now, if you have a self-limiting belief in getting opportunities, you believe that certain opportunities are meant for some certain people, some scholarships are meant for some certain people, some grants are meant for some other people. If you have a certain mindset in that area, you will not be able to conquer it. I'll give you an example, and I always used to give this example. I remember it was one of my highly respected mentor got what I call the Harvard scholarship, Harvard Kennedy of scholarship. Sorry. Can you guys still hear me? Am I still with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So he got a scholarship to do a diploma in Harvard, right? Entrepreneurship in emerging economy. So this is a highly placed person that I respect so much. And for him the way he came and emphasized on that on the Harvard scholarship is God. I made up in my mind, no, this scholarship is not for people like us. It's for persons like him, right? So I never knew I could even have opportunity. So one day, I wanted to build my capacity in entrepreneurship, and I needed to have at least a certificate from Harvard. Then I came across that same scholarship, but then I didn't even bother to apply. Why? Because I thought, okay, the scholarship is for his kind of person. It's not for my kind of person. But something told me, what do you think that this scholarship is for his kind of person? What is he having? Or of course, when he talks about what he's having, there are a lot of them. But then I begin to question my self-limiting belief that the scholarship was not meant for me. So I decided to settle down, go through what the scholarship looks like, put my application through, and guess what? Got that scholarship. right? So when I got the scholarship, and after I finished the scholarship, it was a 3 months program. After I finished the scholarship and I joined the alumni group, he was so surprised to see me in the alumni group, because he doesn't expect that. Of course, when I joined the alumni group, I was actually one of the least person. These are the scholarship that top high-ranking CEOs and executives of big organizations that are running into multi-billion dollars, multinational dollars company, have. But then I decided to question my self-limiting belief. Though I was the founder of a company, though my company wasn't a multi-billion-dollar company, but by the time the people looked at my profile, they looked at I had to submit some document regarding to my company at that time, and they look at my revenue and the revenue I've generated and the cash flow that goes through my account. They felt, okay, this person, though may not have met our criteria, has the potential to, right? And so they made an exception for me and gave me that scholarship. That's an example. Now I have a second example. There was one fellowship I was part of, and that fellowship was meant for only persons that have least qualification. You must have a BSc. But in that fellowship, there is a guy who was in his 300 level and got into the fellowship. By the time they read his application, they even announced that they had to make exception for him. They noticed that his application was far better than even some of the graduates that applied for that fellowship. Imagine if the guy had decided to say, okay, what they say that this scholarship is meant for is for only people that has bachelor, but I'm still in 300 level. I'm not even in final year yet. But the guy did not let that stop him. So you need to identify what are your self-limiting beliefs. You need to think through them. How can you think through them? You need to do that in the place of personal reflection. And you're going to do that. I'm not just going to tell you, I'm going to do it practically to submit it to us. So don't worry, we'll come out. I will show you how to do that. So these are some of the things that he did. Number one, she did self-reflection. She identified what her self-limiting beliefs are. She decided to now started to journal, as we have said. She started to do mentorship. She started to get feedback from people, then get actively involved in people that are in the areas that she wants to. So the more he discussed with them, the more he discovered. If you notice in the story, he realized that he's not the only one that's having that difficulty. That is it. The truth is that, see, if you're applying for a job or you're applying for a scholarship, every other person that is applying for that particular opportunity is as uncertain as you are. In fact, some of them are even scared of you. Some of them may feel that you are better than them. So just when you are scared of them, that's why they are scared of you, because nobody knows where somebody is coming from. But if you don't give it a try, somebody said that you will miss 100% of opportunities you did not give a try at all. So that's that about Sarah. So read through it again, and I'm going to send us at the end of the program. I'm going to send us this session. As I say, I'm going to send us the workbook that you're going to follow to still learn more from Sarah. So having done that about Sarah, let's make progress tonight. Some of a few discussion before we call it a day. Okay, that's it. So how can I shift my paradigm? Now, there are some of the things I want to know. Number one, you need to learn how to embrace challenges. Yesterday, I mentioned that your contribution is directly proportional to your reward, and your contribution is also directly proportional to the challenges that you're able to face. If you are doing easy things, you can't be paid enough, because if it's easy, every other person can do for themselves. I can do it for myself, and there's no need paying you for you to do it for me, right? So you need to embrace challenges. You need to come to a point that you make up your mind that you're not going to follow the easy path. As I told you yesterday, that doesn't mean you should do how do I call it? It doesn't mean that you shouldn't make things easy. It means you don't do easy things. You do difficult. You look for an easy way to do difficult things. That's how you innovate. You look for an easy way to do difficult things. Inventions are product of people who decided to think outside the box. People who started cars are people who decided to think, oh, why must we always use animals to move? Why can't we just make an engine that can move us? Then they started. Then Henry Ford, then at that point, cars are made for only elites. Cars are very expensive because it took time to build. So it's for elites, for kings. Then Henry Ford said, okay, why don't you make cars cheap for everyone so that everyone will be able to afford cars? Then he decided to come up with the technology of mass producing cars. He's the first person to introduce the assembly line, which is used in food processing, in phone making, and in today's industry. But the thing is that Henry Ford questioned the status quo and decided that he's not going to follow the easy way path. And then he was able to make the success that he made today. So if you're going to blaze the trail, if you're going to be somebody that people will look up to, if you're going to be somebody that will be a role model to people, you should be somebody that is doing things that other people feel is difficult, right? So in your office, if there's any task that people are running away from, be the one to pick that one. Right? If they are sharing tasks and it looks like people are picking easy way around, they want to pick it, right? It may look at the beginning that you are a fool, but your boss are looking at what you're doing, and you're also building your stamina in that process. The second thing is that please focus on your effort, not on the result. Celebrate the effort you have put into it. Celebrate the process that have gone into it, not necessarily the product. For instance, you want to graduate with a first class. You may not eventually graduate with a first class, but the activities that I have put into trying to become a first class will make you even a first class product. Even when your certificate is not a first class, it will expand your brain. It will make you to learn a lot. It will make you to read. It will make you resilient, right? It will teach you how to stay awake and study and make sure that you are punctual on time and on stuff. So I want you to celebrate the effort that you have put into the activities, not necessarily the product. To me, when I'm doing a thing, what I enjoy is not the outcome of that product. What I enjoy is the effort, is the process that goes through. If it is the product is not as exciting as the process. It's not as exciting as the effort. So emphasize on the effort. So that when you emphasize on the effort, what happens? You'll be able to identify that, okay, look, I'm not just going to focus on failure. You may not get the result you desire, but when you put in the right effort, you celebrate it. The second thing is that, of course, we have said it yesterday, you need to learn how to look at failures as an opportunity to learn. And then you also need to love to learn. Brian Tracy said that your earning capacity is directly proportional to your learning capacity. Why? Because the more you know, the more you can do. And the more you can do, the more you can earn. And the more you can learn, the more you will know. So your ability to learn is directly proportional to your ability to earn. When you stop learning, your earning capacity stops. And that is why lifelong learning is one of the skills you need in the fourth industrial revolution, especially in the fourth industrial revolution where things change quickly. Before, people used to use social media marketing. Now, Thread has come. If you don't learn how to make use of Thread to learn the algorithm behind Thread, if you're a social media marketer and you're a Facebook person, you are a Twitter person, you're a LinkedIn person, you are an email marketing person, and you are able to use them effectively. If you don't begin to start learning how to leverage on Thread, you will completely be out of the next move of digital marketing that is coming. So you need to be completely up and running and learning always, else you become irrelevant. And the final thing is that is very important, your communities. Yesterday we said one of the major ways that your paradigm is developed is your environment. That talks about your community. Who are you relating to? Who are you spending time with? Who do you give your ear to? Who do you spend time with online? Who do you spend time with? Who advises you? How do they inspire you to do more? Do they want you to become better, far better of yourself? I used to say something that if you're always the best in your cycle, two things are involved. Number one, he said that you are too proud to work with people who are better than you, or you are too lazy to realize that the people in your cycle are doing better than you. So it's any of these things, and none of them is correct. So always work with people that inspire you to do more, people that inspire you to be great. Work with people that can challenge you. So that's that about that. Finally, what are the do's and don'ts? Number one, be kind to yourself. embrace mistakes, right? Focus on the effort, focus on the process, not the outcome. It's okay to make mistakes. Everybody make mistakes. Everybody. In fact, at the point God regretted that he made man. Let me not use the word he made mistake, but the Bible wrote that he regretted that he repented or regretted that he made man. So you are not immune to mistakes. So be kind to yourself when you make mistakes. Be kind to yourself when you don't get the outcome you want. See it as an opportunity to do better. See it as an opportunity to build on your self-reflection capacity. What have you done wrong? What can you do better later? You're going to receive a lot of rejection letters. Let me let you know, you will receive a lot. I can't count how many rejection letters I've received this year. I have received a lot of rejection letters already this year, but I don't see it. I don't let it define me, right? The most important thing is that I'm making effort, I'm putting in my best, I'm building the process, and that's what matters. And I'm kind to myself, right? So if I don't make enough, I move to the next one. The next thing is another dose is that be specific. Be specific about your goals. Don't just say, I want to be great. What does that mean? What does greatness mean? Greatness means different things to different people. To some people, greatness means getting married, having cute children, that sending their children to school. That's greatness, and it's awesome. That is great. To some people, greatness means getting to the top of my career. I don't really want to care whether I'm married or not. That's great. You need to tell yourself, what does greatness mean to you? What does success mean to you? Then find the people who have the same definition of success as you are, so that you don't be working with people who are not moving the same direction as you're moving. So I told you yesterday, if you're 50, if you're 100 and the next person is 50, if you together become 75, because you become an average. If you synergize together, you become an average of two of you, right? That's 50 plus 100 divided by 2, that's 75. So if you don't want to be 75, you need to at least look for people that are higher than you, people that are above you, or people that are within you, and spend most of your time with them. And then when you're setting your goals, be specific about the goal. Don't say that I want to make money this year. How much do you want to make? How much do you want to make? Be specific. And by the time you'll be able to set, see, we're going to do, if time will permit us, I'm going to take you through the process of goal setting. By the time you set your goal, you'll be amazed of how easy it is to achieve some set goals. You know, most of the time we do 1 year goal, and it looks like 1 year is let's start to realize that every 1 year is a combination of every second. So if you miss 1 day out of 1 year, you have missed a whole day opportunity to achieve your goal. So you don't just make 1 year goal, you break it down to months, you break it down to weeks, you break it down to days. If possible, break it down every day, break it down to hours. From 1 to 2, what should I do in my life? At the end of the day, how does everything that I've done culminate into the goal I have set up for myself for this year? Then embrace diversity, listen from others. Don't be someone who is closed-minded. Learn from everybody. I learn from everybody. I learn from people who shares the same belief as myself. I also learn from people who doesn't. I'm open to learn from everybody's perspective. I'm open to learn to see things from everybody's way of life. So be open, be open. I'm not saying that you should become like them, but listen to their own school of thought and question your authority. That's how you become an authority in your field, right? Then you need to practice. Very important. For those of us that were around last year, we brought my mentor, Benga, to speak to us about mindfulness. Mindfulness is simply means thinking about your thought. You can choose what you think about. That's why the Bible tells us that whatsoever is pure, whatsoever is noble, whatsoever is of good report, think of those, and several of them, think of those things. That means you have the capacity to choose what you think about. You have the ability to choose what you think about. So you need to practice mindfulness. What do you think about? Is it contributing? Is it successful? Is it a fixed mindset? Is that thought, classified as a fixed mindset, or can it be classified as what? As a growth mindset? So choose your thought, have a growth-oriented behavior. Then what are the things you should not do? Do not focus on progress. Focus on your progress, not on the achievement. I've said that. Don't fear failure. Failure is just a part of growth. Embrace it, right? I also say avoid seeking validation from other people. Sometimes you need to motivate yourself. Sometimes you need to tell yourself, pat yourself at the back and say, hey, Nick, you have tried. People may not have seen what you have gone through, but you know what you have gone through, right? I used to define excellence as putting your best. It's not becoming the best. That's not excellence for me. Excellence is putting in my best. The question, if I get any result, I'll ask myself, have I put in the best into this? Yes. If I put my best, that's an excellent work for me. So if your best is not yielding the result you require, what do you need to do? Improve your best. I told us yesterday that life is like a sea. The quantity of water you're going to get from it determines the volume of the capacity of the container you bring to fetch the water. So if your best is not yielding the result you want, try to improve. That's where your personal development and capacity come in. But don't compare yourself. You're in chapter 1 of your life. You're comparing yourself who are already in chapter 10 of your own life. You'll be depressed. Of their own life. You'll be depressed. So learn how to seek validation from yourself, not necessarily comparing yourself with others. And then finally, be persistent through challenges. All right. And we're going to talk about that. When I mean persistent, I don't mean you should continue to do stuff that you know that's not going to lead you anywhere. The time will come that you are able to say, look, this path is not taking anywhere. Let me take a new path. It's not a bad thing at all. Persistency does not mean obsession. There are two different things. When you're obsessed with a certain thing, when you're obsessed with a certain direction of your life, you don't want to give it up, even when it's obvious that you're not going to make headway with it. No, that does not mean, no, you don't be obsessed with anything. Have an open mind. If it's not going to work, leave it. Try another thing. All right? So that's our discussion for today. So thank you for listening. So what I will do right now is, before I take your questions, let me change my so before I take your questions, I will quickly want to share with us how your workbook looks like and how you're going to use it. So give me a second. Workbook with you. Can you guys still see my screen? So if you have a question, please, you can start putting your question together. Okay? Please, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
But we cannot see your screen again. No.
We can't see it now. We saw it before.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw it before.
So if you have a question, please, keep typing up your question while I pull up your workbooks. Let me share my screen again. Give me a second. Can you see my screen now? Look, guys, can you see my?
I cannot.
Your screen is paused. It's saying Alifa Nicholas post screen share.
Okay. Give me a sec. Let me see if I. What about now? Not yet.
Yes, I can see it now.
I can see it
Yeah,
now.
I can see it now.
We can see it now.
Oh, okay. Okay. What can you see now? Please?
The screen is paused, sir.
Screen share.
Oh, it's paused.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, sorry. Thank you, Jesus. What about now?
I see it now.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay, can you see the PDF file?
So
No, not yet.
What can you see now?
it's a blank.
Just a
It's
blank.
Just a
space.
blank. Okay. Okay, I'm seeing something called
Yeah,
paradigm shift
Yes,
workbook.
yes.
Yeah.
your book
Right,
has
great.
come up now.
Okay, so this is how your workbook looks like for this section. This is an introduction, just a brief discussion of what you have talked about. Of course, you might have read this case study already, and then you have answered the questions already in your group. So the next thing, these are the steps that you can take that we just talked about: self-reflection, mentorship, inspirational supportive feedback, goal setting, learning, participating, artistic communities. These are different ways that Sarah was able to identify. So what you're going to do is to see. Now, the next thing you're going to do is to carry out your own self-reflection. So take a moment to write your beliefs about your abilities and your potential. Consider any limiting thought or beliefs that you make that holding you back. So you can just get a notebook or a piece of paper, jot them down, and submit a reflection note. Not less than 50. We will share with you this workbook in your group, as well as the link to submit it. This is very important. The most important thing is that it's not to submit it. Nobody is going to grade you, but this process, this activity will help you to learn how to do self-reflection. And if you go through it, we can lead, okay, this is it, this is it. This is how to do it, this is not how to do it. And if you need help, we are here to help you. You can always reach out to me through your liaison officer or through your group leader. You can always reach out to me because I'm the one that is convening this session. And I'll put you through how, if you don't have an idea of how to do self-reflection, you can reach out to me and I'll get back to you. So that's the first thing. Then the second thing also is that you need to learn how to do your thought journal, right? Thought journaling. So in the next few years, keep a thought journal. Write down a negative or limiting thought that's coming to your mind. And this will also help you to do mindfulness. Because if you are beginning to have a limiting mindset, that means you realize it. That means you are being mindful of what you are thinking. Most of people have limiting mindset and they don't even realize that they have a limiting mindset because they are not conscious of what they are thinking about. So this particular activity will help you. And then finally, you are going to set goals. Just like very brief things about goal setting. Let me reduce this to 75. Cool. So just very brief thing about goal setting. Two goals: one for personal development, one another for your professional development. If you're already an entrepreneur, write one goal about your entrepreneur. If you're a 9 to 4, 9 to 5, write your goal about 9 to 5. If you're a student, write your professional goal about your academic or what you seek to achieve after you graduate. So this will help you to do that. And I'll also be able to put some examples of self-limiting beliefs for us, go through them. There are about 7 or 8 of them. Then also I have put up some growth mindset affirmation. I didn't have time to talk about it yesterday. We talked about the fact that your brain doesn't understand your reality. Your brain understands what to allow it to understand. It understands what you think. If this is red and in your mind you are fully convinced that it is black, your brain takes that as black. It's psychologically proven. It's not some psychic. It's scientifically proven. And that's why people who believe they can recover from cancer recover from it faster than people who think they are dead. And that is why what you say matters a lot. You don't go up and say, I'm dead, I'm finished, I can't achieve this. No, you don't do that. You don't say that. So there are some growth mindset affirmation that you need to learn. Number one, that you need to do. So something like, I'm capable of developing my own mindset. Mistake I just set back. I am resilient. See, well, I don't want to do that. If not, I will show you where I list out some. When the moment I'm beginning to have a limiting mindset about something, for instance, there was a time I wrote one. I submitted one of my portfolio and assignment for a course I'm doing, and I got 79. And I didn't want to. Sorry, I got a score that I'm not supposed to mention the score. I got a score that I was not expected. to have, that I didn't score. I wanted to have something higher than that score. As a result of that, it begins to weigh me down. But I remember that, oh, Nick, this does not define you. This is not who you are. I take a piece of paper and start writing down who I am, what I have done before, what I'm capable of. And that kind of helped me to overcome the self-limiting mindset that particular outcome would have helped me, would have got me to have. So what I'm trying to let you know works. If it doesn't work, I won't be sharing with you. It works 100%. It has been working for me. I have friends who are using it. It's been working for them. So this will help you to develop. These are just some examples. You can decide to, depending on what your self-limiting beliefs are, can decide to write a self-affirmation, growth-oriented statement concerning that. And if possible, you look at them. So that is essentially what this workbook is about. Again, this is a workbook for you, and it's a workbook for life. If it is your first time of doing some of these things, nobody's expecting you to be perfect. I started doing journaling, I started doing self-reflection years ago, and the day I started, it wasn't perfect. But I want to, once you start, don't stop. Keep doing. The more you do, the more you begin to understand, the easier it becomes for you to do. Remember, everything is difficult from the beginning. Everything is difficult from the beginning. But the more you do it, the more it becomes easier. If you know that, see, this your food that you can carry from your plate and put it in your mouth, I think is easy. Go and meet a toddler that is learning how to eat. They'll carry the food and take it into their nose. Some of them, if they're not even good, they'll take it into their eye. It's just to put food in your mouth. Why? It's easier for you because you have been doing it for the past 25 years, for the past 26 years. It's because you have been doing it consistently and persistently. But for somebody that is learning how to do it now, it's very difficult. So if whether it is thought journaling, whether it is self-reflection, but by the time you start doing them, they are difficult. I'm not saying that these are easy, but remember, again, people with growth mindset doesn't do easy things. They create time to do what is difficult. But if you do it, the first time is difficult, the second time becomes easier, the third time becomes easiest. Before you know, it becomes part of life and it becomes like almost what you can do without thinking about it. So I will take questions now. I will stop my screen now and begin to take questions if there are any. Do we have any question? Okay. Say, SWOT analysis a good tool for personal self-education. Perfect. SWOT analysis is good. For some of us who doesn't know what a SWOT analysis is, it means you analyze what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what are the opportunities, what are your strengths, and what are your threats. Strength and weakness are innate. They are internal to you. They are within you. They are within your control. They are something you can influence. They are something you can improve on. Opportunities and threats are something that are beyond your control. So what do? You use your opportunity to navigate your threat, right? So SWOT analysis is very good for self-reflection. Thank you so much for that. Okay, Jacob. Lillian said, can you tell us more about journaling, sir? Oh, should we write about striking achievement or day-to-day achievement? Also, both of them are great. If you can write day-to-day achievement, it will help you. And what does day-to-day achievement help you to realize is that it helps you to think that when you think that you have not achieved anything in a whole month, but if you write it day to day, you discover and go back to them, you will tap yourself at the back and say, no, I have tried. That will also help you to practice what we call self-love, or I don't want to call it self-love. There's a name for it. Self-compassion, yeah. Self-compassion. It will help you to develop what we call self-compassion, right? So in your journaling, write small. If for instance your goal is to lose weight, right, and you have been able to jog 2 minutes in a day, write it in your journal, so that when you jog 4 minutes next day, you discover that you have made progress, right? So progress is not comparing yourself with another person, it's comparing what you have done before with what you are doing now. So both your striking achievement and your day-to-day achievement should be part of your journal. So you can have two different sets of, I have two journalists, two different sets of journals. There's one I put when I have the quantum leap, when I achieve one significant thing that have changed the course of my life. I have a journal for that. And then, well, let me not lie, I'm not hardly do day-to-day journaling these days. I hardly do day-to-day journaling these days, but then you can do it. If you can
30 minutes
invest
have
in
passed.
day-to-day
That's why she
journaling,
off
that
it.
would be great. Precious, please, can you mute? Can you be on mute? Thank you.
Okay.
All right. So do we have any other question? Lillian and Jacob, I answered your question perfectly. Do we have any other question? Please, if you have a question, ask.
Yes, you answered my question perfectly. Sir,
All right,
but
great.
there's still another question I want to ask.
Go ahead.
You talked about when you're in an organization and there are jobs, there are works that's very, very demanding. And you said that that when we tell our bosses, oh, that when we maybe devote our time and resources, everything to that job, so that sometimes people may see us as a fool in our place of work. But no, there are some organizations where you work, and the pressure of work is almost breaking you. And I want to know, some work can be a threat to your emotional balance and your physical balance. So, what can one do in that wise? And having it in mind that, oh, you want you want to go, you want to overcome obstacles and challenges. So, what can one do? Because there's times that you engage in a job whereby you don't have your time. It's really, really challenging, and sometimes putting your head into it may even break you totally. So, as somebody who wants to go, what can one do in such a scenario?
Okay, thank you so much. Now, I want you to note something. When I said your job, when I said I used the word difficult, not demanding. These are two things, right? Now, what I mean by when something can be demanding, but at the end of the day, the outcome doesn't make you a better person. Do you understand? So you need to look at when I say you should love challenges. I did not say that you should begin to say, okay, I want to learn how to carry car on my head, while you can actually drive the car because you love challenges. No, that's not what I mean. When I say love, you should you should look for challenges. I'm talking about something that you know that after you have done it, you can build your mental stamina. I don't know if you understand. So there are some jobs that after you finish them, it doesn't contribute anything to you. Rather, it drains you. But there are some tasks that if you task yourself to do them, it builds your capacity, it builds your mental stamina, it gives you experience that you wouldn't have been able to get otherwise. Are you with me, Jacob?
Yeah, I'm with you. I can hear you very
Okay.
clearly.
So when I'm saying that you should do the difficult tasks in your job, I do not mean that you should be doing the work that you should carry everybody who's work in the department or everybody who work in the office and put it on your head and do. No, but always go for that work that will help you to build your mental capacity, the work that will challenge your current skills, that so that you know that after you finish this work, you know that you have gained something experientially, you have gained something in terms of you can make reference to that when doing another one. Okay.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate the question has been dealt with. Thank you, sir.
Oh, all right. Thank you for that. Okay. So I think they have shared your attendance link already, and time is already 9 o'clock. So at this point, we'll draw the curtain for this section. Don't forget what you have discussed. The group will tell you what your next session is, and they'll let you know when is the deadline to submit or to bring in your input. But I'll advise you, if it's possible for you to try and do it tonight before you sleep, please go ahead and do it. That's the perfect thing to do. It's now that your head is hot, now that you understand it, that's when to do. So do it, do the task, turn it up, ask questions if you need any help. Feel free to let us know if you need any help. I may not be in everybody's accountability group, but if you want a question that is specifically directed to me, please put it in the general group, not on the accountability group. so that I'll be able to see it. And please mention me in that question. I'm already on that group, so mention me in that question and let me know that this question is for me. I'll be able to deal with it. Thank you so much for your time. So guys, maybe you fill the form, and this time around, I will yield the mic to Dami and his team. And unfortunately, I have to leave the meeting now. That does not mean the meeting has ended. That's because I have another meeting by 9 o'clock. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nicholas. We appreciate you for another wonderful session tonight. Thank you so much. This is amazing. Oluwaferomi Benjamin, are you still here? Please unmute if you are still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, so
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to hand over the mic to you, so you do your job. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So as you have all heard what Sir Nicholas have said, please let's try and do our assignment. If you can do it this night, as you have said, please try and do that. And don't forget to mark your attendance because it's very, very important. And please don't share the link with anybody. Don't share the link with anybody. And if you have any question, as you have said, you can drop it in the general group and tag him or ask anybody, maybe Madam or any of the license officers to help you with that. So since we don't have any question again, and then it's already past 9 o'clock, we'll be drawing